huge, but also very personal.
It has to be very shrink down ultimately to people, because otherwise you're shooting postcards. So what you can do is you can use a giant landscape, but if the drama happening is highly personal, that's what's important, and then the landscape almost flourishes because of it. My God, these people are fighting for their life against this beautiful landscape, and you just can't believe it. And they're not stopping like we do 200 years later to go, wow, this is beautiful. I don't believe they ever said that. The people that were existing 200 years ago in America, 250, I don't think they were looking at sunsets. They weren't looking at things and describing it as beautiful. They were wondering where the next meal was going to come from. They were wondering if they were going to be attacked. They were wondering if their child was going to get sick. But that's what, you know, some people say, well, have you modernized the Western? I said, I haven't. But what I've done is I've invested that people aren't any different than us. You probably will want something better for your children. Your parents gave you everything they possibly could give you. You may be unhappy. It's like maybe you grew up in a place you wish you hadn't. Maybe you grew up in a place that was very safe. But you will want something different. There's no difference between the people that existed, you know, 200 years ago in Venice or in this, you know, my God, this is 1,000 years old here. The modernization is not modern, it's more of being authentic. And if you're authentic, then you're going to see behaviors. The only thing you're not going to overlay is what the convenience that we have. They think of the West as simple. It's much more complicated now. Now, if you're hungry, you can go to the restaurant. If you don't like that, you can go to another one. Then there was no restaurant, and you had to figure it out. And you had to eat that food right away or it would spoil. It was complicated. It's not more important than my children, than my own life, how I think of myself. But it's incredibly important to me when I'm working on it, because I know I'm going to pass it off. It won't be mine anymore, and people will have taken the time to watch it. So that means I want them to have the very best of what I was thinking, how I was working that day. They're getting, if you watch Horizon, you're getting every part of who I am. Well, that first time I never actually walked the red carpet. I came with a large cast, Silverado, and I was not recognized or known, nor was I interviewed. Eventually somebody agreed to interview me for some reason, but it was during that interview where they pulled me out of it because they said the movie was playing. And I said, well, it's not playing. And they said, yeah, it is playing. They said, Fandango. I said, no, Silverado. They said, no, Fandango. Fandango was a movie that didn't perform well in the United States. Only was